Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everybody. I'm very glad to meet you in this show. As promised, this speech will be in English about some new ingredients that would be included to our food and that people should pay attention. And the speech is a special speech for all the Muslims around the world. As you might know, that these ingredients should be also examined by our religion to see if they are haram or halal. Because in Islam, all kind of foods that should be checked if it is halal or haram. But unfortunately, these ingredients, normally we should not talk about them, that because they may not exist in the human food. That food has been created by our God for humans, and all kind of foods created for man may not include insects, bugs, and also some worms. That all the food, all kind of foods that had been regulated in our Quran and also in the Hadith by our God subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, are alcohol. As you might know, there are only few things who has banned and prohibited by our religions, including alcohol, wine and beer, all kind of drinks that may contain concentrations more than 4% of alcohol, and also the meta, the killed animals, or sorry, it's a problem of connection problem. And I was talking about these ingredients, that all the food that had been banned or prohibited in our religion by Islam include only few things, including alcohol, the meta, or the dead and killed animals, and also blood, and animals slaughtered, not slaughtered by the Islamic way. And also the hog or pig, the swine, is prohibited in our religion, even if it's slaughtered. So only few things are prohibited in our religion, but all the ingredients processed from these foods also are banned, like some fat extracted from meat or from pork, which is now included to a lot of kind of foods, including bread. Normally, it's haram. It's not halal. And also some food additives, like bovine serum albumin and like lecithin, like triglycerides and diglycerides, and a lot of ingredients that now are processed from blood and from swine and also from meta, the dead animals. And they are added to other kind of foods like biscuits and some cakes and some sausage, some cheese, and a lot of other kinds of foods. And that they should be prohibited in our religion, in Islam. But these new ingredients might concern the bugs, worms, and insects. And we should not talk about them because they are not, normally they are not created for the man. They are created for birds and also from some other animals. But we should not talk about them, and please pay attention. You should be aware about some fatwa that can be issued by some imam or sheikh, that these imam and sheikh had not studied science, and they don't know anything about the foods, about food. They didn't study the food science or nutrition. They don't know anything about these items and these materials. But pay attention, and the speech should be addressed, and you can share it to all your friends around you, that it's for all the Muslims around the world, and we should not discuss this problem. To find a solution, is it haram or halal? But we know that normally in the nature, our God has created everything for man, sustenance and food for man, for the humanity, and this sustenance may include meats, all kind of meats, also poultry, and so the milk, eggs, fish, and also vegetables like legumes, cereals, a lot of things. And these things are created for the nutrition of, as food for the humanity. But our God cannot regulate this in Quran or in Hadith, because normally it's not included in the food for human. You will not find anything in Quran and also in Sunnah about worms, bugs, and insects, because they are not a food for the humanity. So we should not, some people are talking about the case law, or some regulation in Islam. Is it halal or haram? We'll see in the the Malikite school, or the schools of Malikite school or Hanafite school or Shafi'i school, but normally it should not be discussed. That because we cannot, that we are created to live on food, but not on bugs, insects, and these worms. And this, pay attention to the mistake, pay attention to the big mistake the Muslims will do. These things should not be discussed at all. Halal or haram, no. That's because, in the nature, we are now, we are now corruption. There will be a corruption in the natural laws, because our God, all the Sharia might follow the natural laws. So our God had stated these laws in the nature, and we should respect them. It's a simple case, and but this people are now talking not. We will see other speech in your in the media, in the social media, and also on your TV or radio. Also, you will listen to a lot of discussions now on this media, but they are discussing about proteins, vitamin D, vitamin B12, and so on, probiotic, and so. But they are not talking about bugs, worms, and insects. They are talking about proteins. And this, this is a mistakable thing. Please pay attention to it. And you should not go straight to this to this trap. Please pay attention. Worms, bugs, and insects are foods of birds and some other reptiles in the nature, but they are not food for the humanity. And for this reason, our God had not regulated them, because they are not our food. Our God regulated all the food for the humanity, like meats and like alcohol and so. And the tayyibat, everything is good for the nutrition. There is only few things that were prohibited in our religion. And I think that the Muslims can be misled about this, and some sheikh or imam can issue at any moment a fatwa, so just to make it as permissible food. It's not permissible. It's not food for the humanity. It's not food for the man. It's food for birds and reptiles, but it's not for man. This is very important, that because the sheikh and imam had no idea and no knowledge, nothing about this thing, because this sheikh and imam had not studied science and food science and technology, and and they don't know anything about these ingredients, these not ingredients. Some doctors and physicians now also are talking about these kind of proteins, sourced, these insect-sourced proteins or worm-sourced proteins, or even some other bugs, like beetles, like a lot of some disgusting parts now will be included into our food. But please, you should think to this, that normally only scientific people can discuss this and can explain to the people. Your sheikh or your imam, it would depend on the country you are living, Canada, United States, or Scandinavian countries, or even in the Asian countries. But your sheikh or imam will tell you that we are now we get a fatwa from another country who are specialized, and sheikh in imam and ulama, and so who had stated that these are permissible in food. But no, it's against the natural law. It should not be regulated in our religion. Our God had issued some regulation and some recommendations, also some prohibitions, yes, in the Quran, for the human, for food, for all kind of foods that had been created for man, not for birds and so. And these materials are not created for man, created for other creatures. So, and then we should not go to the discussion and to see if it's halal or haram. And we should not accept any discussions about this. We should not discuss the problem. They should not be included in our food, because they are not, because they are not made for us. They are made for other creatures. And I would like to invite all the scientists, Muslim scientists, to understand this point of view, and to get something smart for really discussing this, or even if your friend asks you about this, but please tell him that these beetles, bugs, and worms, and so are foods for birds and for reptiles, because the digestion of these materials is very strong. It's very hard to digest because the level of the proteins are very high. Some bugs may get more than 68% of proteins, and all people now are discussing this. They will really try to convince people by proteins, because the high amount of proteins in these bugs, and they will use it just to make you eat these insects and these bugs. They will tell you that it's rich in protein, and the high quality proteins, and rich in amino acids, and all kind of amino acids. They may contain all kind of amino acids, and also some fatty acids, and also vitamin D and vitamin B12. We have a big problem now. There is a lack. Is a deficiency of vitamin D and vitamin B12, yes, around the world, in all the countries of the world. But this is not a reason for we can eat these bugs. That some people now are discussing, is it halal or haram? We should not discuss it. Our God cannot regulate something which has created for other creatures, not for man. I will not find nothing in Quran, nothing in Sunnah. They will use some as hadith for the cricket, because cricket is locust cricket, so is permitted in Islam, but it's not a basic food. It's created in some occasions. It's not usually used. Some people now eat the crickets, yes, because it's in the hadith of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but it's not a reason that can be used for we can eat these insects. It's not a reason. Normally these things are not should not be included in the food for men, for the humans. We are created to eat everything in this world, because all things are created for us. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. Our God had created all things for us. Yeah, sure, but there is some regulations and recommendations, and also there are a lot of natural laws. There are fundamental laws in the nature we should respect, and the Quran has respected these natural laws. The Quran can never go against the natural laws, because our God created this world and this universe, and subhanahu wa ta'ala, he knows very well what he had created, and everything is organized in this world, in this universe. The nutrition of birds, the nutrition of the fish, the nutrition of animals, the nutrition of insects, the nutrition also of reptiles, and some snakes, and so, everything is well organized. But when you change this law of nature, and you change it, people will eat insects and bugs, they will get a lot of troubles, in the health troubles and problems. And now we are getting much with the food additives, with the pesticides and the plastic, with the pollution, and a lot of problems now in our food and processed food at least. And now if we include these things to our food, we will sure get a lot of problems in our health. But this is very, very well. Please pay attention and be aware about any fatwa that can be issued concerning these bugs and these worms and insects. Normally, if you want to be a good Muslims, you should respect all the natural laws which our God subhanahu wa ta'ala respected them in the Quran. And there is nothing in the Quran that because these things are not, a component of the food for humans. All things, only two kinds of food now for us, for the humans. The only food source, some food originated from animals, like eggs, animal products, like eggs, milks, meats, and vegetables. Only animals and vegetables, So only two things, and you can eat what you want to eat. And with some regulation, which are no alcohol, no swine meat, no meta, dead animals and killed animals, zoo and blood, and all the animals which had been slaughtered without invoking the name of our God, Bismillah, and also, the why the Islam may prepare the animal, the slaughtering, the Islamic slaughtering way, like the Jewish procedure is the same. So, and now people now are discussing. I know that in many countries they are discussing it as a normal subject or topic. No, it's not normal topic. You should pay attention to the trap. You will go straightly to that trap. When you discuss it, is halal or haram, they will find you any reason that can be halal or that, because they will go, Imam Malik had a hadith that cricket is, Rasulullah said that we can eat cricket, halal, وحلت لنا ميتتان, the fish and the cricket. Yes, but it's not a reason for you can eat these insects, that's so. And even this hadith, that the Shafi'ite school, prohibit the cricket. The Malikite school, they didn't prohibit the cricket. There is a difference between two. They are all Muslims, but a groups who now, Shafi'ite, the Shafi'ite do not eat the crickets, and the Malikite eat the crickets. Our Islam is like this, so, and we should pay attention, and one day the scientists, who had studied the food science and also these things, and specialists, and now the doctors and physicians have no idea about these insects. They are talking about proteins, but before they get this protein, there are a lot of other factors which have been included, not only proteins. They will get some venom and some pheromones and a lot of other items, because these insects and worms are contaminated, are heavily contaminated by the heavy metals also, and they can absorb a lot of other factors. They will not show you the negative aspects. They will show you only the positive aspects. They are rich in proteins, and they are rich in vitamin D, they are rich in vitamin B12, they are rich in prebiotics for your color. And so, but it's now, this is, he will hide you all the other things they will not tell you about, and which they can be dangerous. That's because it's not the food for humans, And since these things have not been created for humans, they should not be included in your food. We should not discuss, is it halal or haram? Please pay attention. See you. Assalamu alaikum.